Welcome back to Madrealm Gaming. Today I'm going to give you my full review of the 100i, but before we get into that, I do want to start off by saying hello to all the new subscribers, and thank you very much to Benescore for being my first patron on Patreon. I really appreciate all of your support and look forward to providing more content for you to enjoy. For those of you that are new here, we're coming up really close on my 500 subscriber ship giveaway, so make sure to click that subscribe button for your chance at an Avenger Titan. I also plan on doing another to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers, so be sure to stick around. Speed, tenacity, peacemaker. These are the key words at the start of the 100 series trailer. These ships are meant to be starters with a little more power compared to the others, and as an Origin fan myself, the big question is, does it have a solid place in this lineup? I love the way this ship looks, how the nose mimics the 600i. It's got a nice, sleek, aerodynamic body. It's got these cool discrete thrusters on the back, and you can see the scoop intakes for the air system that allows you to regenerate your hydrogen fuel. I mean, this ship just screams luxury when you compare it to something like the Aurora MR. When you look at the interior space, it's not only spacious for something so small, but you have easy access to most of your components from the inside, including your cargo hold. The bed is definitely something that's minimalist, but I kind of feel like that's the point in a ship like this. The cockpit has a fantastic view, the side door is easy to access if you're running package missions. Overall, I really like the physical layout of the ship despite what I've seen other people say. The cockpit has some of the best button placement that I've seen as well. It's up there with the Gladius. So really, the big question is, how does it actually stack up compared to the other starter ships? The first ship I want to discuss when comparing stats is the Mustang Alpha. The reason for this is the 100i and the Mustang are both pretty maneuverable ships. SCM speed and max speed do come into play in combat, however, I want to focus on pitch and roll. These are the two most important flight stats for combat in my opinion. There are a couple reasons why I say this. First off, when you get into a joust with someone, your pitch speed is what helps keep your nose on target as they pass, and is also what helps you accomplish your turn and burn. Rolling and pitching are the key flight functions to keep a target in your sights, so these are some of the most important stats to consider. Using just two size 2 and two size 1 weapons, it can have a higher damage output than the 100i if it decides to gimbal two size 2 weapons, but considering missiles and the ability to wield size 3 weapons, this gives the 100 a win. The Mustang does have 2 shields however, so there's 1 point for the Mustang. With this in mind, we can see that the 100i on paper is more maneuverable and can fire its weapons more accurately at a higher speed than a Mustang. That's a theoretical win for the 100i. Now for the Aurora MR, unfortunately, it just doesn't really keep up. With a low SCM speed, low roll speed, and decent pitch speed, you're going to have a hard time keeping up with any targets that have good agility. It has a single size 2 missile slot and 4 size 1 weapons, so it loses in firepower. The good pitch speed does mean it will do okay in a brawl, but I don't recommend sticking around in a fight you can avoid with an Aurora. It does have 2 shields, so it is a little tougher, but still, I think the 100i is a clear win here. As for the Pisces, I really just don't understand why people pick this as a starter ship. No offense, I just think it has awful flight statistics. The weapons loadout is extremely weak with 2 size 1 weapons, but it can carry 4 SCU of cargo. It also has 2 shields, but again, I just don't think it makes up for how bad the flight stats are. I really only see this being good as a parasite ship for a Carrack. Now the Avenger Titan is the biggest competitor of the 100i, but given this flight stat comparison, I can see where the 100 holds a place. The Avenger does have a much tougher hull, 2 shield slots, a heavier weapons loadout with 2 size 3 and a size 4 weapons hardpoint, and 2 size 3 missile hardpoints. The only thing that the 100i really has going for it against the Titan is maneuverability. So the Titan wins here, but it does cost more. Alright, enough talking about how it flies. Time to take it out for flight. Right off, it's very quick at entering atmosphere, like all small ships. During this flight test, I'm going about 50 to 60 over SCM speed, so I can see how it handles drag and really test out the thruster efficiency curves. Immediately, it feels very similar to the 300 series, but with less power and a little more drag. As you start to bank into turns, you can really feel the agility and how quickly you can correct course. You do need to push pretty hard on the afterburners and brakes when you start performing some of the more intense maneuvers, but the thrusters seem to do a great job of handling cooling as it takes a fair amount of time to overheat. It does drift pretty nicely, so at this point I said, hey, let's test it out in the Arena Commander Classic race. Now, I'm not the best pilot with this ship, and I'm especially not good at doing these classic races, as you can see here. And here. And here. But after a while, I start to get used to it, and I can say it does handle very nicely. It reminds me a lot of the 300s, so I can say this is a successful design. So, time to test out combat. So with only 2 missiles, that means that this ship is basically forced to get into very close range engagements. As the shortest lock range for a missile is 1,000 meters, you want to try to stay inside of that so people aren't locking you with their missiles. You want to get in close and try to brawl, which I find a little counterintuitive due to the fact that it only has 1 shield. So to try to cover this weakness, I attach an FR66 shield so I can use my agility to help regenerate my shields very quickly. And I have 2 Panther laser repeaters as my fixed size 3 weapons. This way I can do some good damage on the way in, correct my flight when they begin to pass me, hopefully keep really tight and put them back in my sights quickly. My initial thoughts were that this ship would really be equipped for only defending itself if it gets yanked out of Quantum or doing light bounty hunting. But here I am, doing a CS3 and a CS4. So it really does a great job, and I can actually see the 125A doing a better job at bounty hunting due to the 4 size 2 missiles it can carry. With the ship's main strength being agility and carrying 2 size 3 weapons, it honestly does feel like an interceptor. So what's my overall opinion? I think the ship's worth it. I really like it. At $60 to purchase it and the game, I think that's perfect value. Not only do you get to engage in some of the hardest bounties that you can start out with, you're able to do cargo runs, you're able to do package runs. The ship's pretty fast, so if you get good enough with it, maybe you could do some races. Honestly, I see this being a pretty good ship for anybody to start with, and I would actually recommend it over the $45 starters. It's worth the $15. However, if you do have 70 that you're looking to pitch in to start the game, just get the Avenger Titan. Alright, and with that one, we have reached the end of the video again, citizens. Thank you very much for stopping by. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, throw them in the comments section down below. I'm out of here. See you in the verse, everybody.